Coach, just looking at first Grayson, I know obviously he didn't come back in, but the game had kind of got out of hand. What's the status of his ankle?
X-rays negative. It's an ankle sprain, and we'll see how he responds. With treatment over the next few days.
Okay. Secondly, after that first quarter, I think I don't know what the margin was in the second and third, but it was pretty big. What do you feel like they did differently, or what you guys weren't able to do in that stretch?
Yeah, well, I think in the second quarter we fouled way too much and put them to the line, made things easy for them, and that slowed down our offense. Because you're taking the ball out of the net each time. And in the third quarter, Anthony Edwards really got going, and we had some lost offensive possessions.
Okay. When you look at just him, obviously when he's hitting the three, then he becomes even more difficult to guard. But what was you maybe sensing with the other guys, the spacing that they had going for him to get those looks?
He's a great player. You know what I mean? He's a great player. You try to do the best you can to slow him down without being exposed on the backside all night. But there's things we can do better that we showed throughout the regular season that we didn't do well enough tonight. And we'll make those adjustments and be ready for game 2.
What did you see from Devin tonight just in terms of the way he was trying to attack and maybe not finding as much success?
Yeah, just we got to do a better job getting him open. I think credit their perimeter players. That they got some great perimeter players, defenders on that team. So we can be more creative in getting him open.
Seemed like in the first half especially you guys responded really well to the physicality, but is there a balance there in the second quarter you're talking about with the fouling and the physicality?
Yeah, you don't want them to put them to the line. They're a bigger, stronger team, but we can play more physical than we played tonight.
Coach, when you talk about the physicality, you look at the rebounding. Is that obviously part of it, the big discrepancy?
Part of it, but that's not the only area that physicality shows up. A lot of the offensive rebounds were more about containment, and being in rotations. If we contain the basketball better and we keep the ball out of the paint, then the glass doesn't open up as much, so we can be better there.
When you've got 3 guys that can target mismatches the way that you can, what's the balance between doing that but not letting the offense get too stagnant?
Well, that's the key word. It's a balance. You want to involve their weaker defenders, not their better defenders, but you also got to keep your guys in rhythm. So the bigger thing is to get your movement and get your key guys open.
Frank, when obviously Devin has played at a high level throughout his career, when he can't get going, what kind of challenges does that create for you guys?
When he can't get going?
He cannot get going.
Yeah, we have others. We have a team. Phoenix Suns are a team. It's not about one player. I'm not worried about him getting going. He's one of the best scorers in the league. Like I said, we'll do a better job of looking at ways to free him up, and we'll be better in game 2.
It's just one game out of 7, but how much is that the mindset? What you're talking about to the guys in the locker room? What was said?
I keep that to myself, but we knew all week that this team is far better than the team we saw in the head-to-head matchups in the regular season. It's a 56-win team with Cat missing 6 weeks or 2 months or whatever he missed. So really a 60-win caliber team that we're playing against. We knew they were going to play better. We hoped to have played better in game 1, but we got to make a response in game 2.
Coach, looking at Eric, I know that obviously he can hit the three, but he's been struggling as of late. Does that make you look at possibly going somewhere else off the bench, maybe with Bowl or someone else offensively?
Yeah, we'll consider everything. Yeah. But I like Eric Gordon, and I like the threat. At any game, he can go in. If he goes 0 for 5 tonight, he'll be 5 for 5 next game. He's that type of player.
How do you evaluate those smaller lineups when you turn it on?
Yeah, I got to look at it. We've had success when we're down big, of just playing a style where we're shooting a lot of threes and trying to space out the defense. We missed some open looks. And, we actually we achieved what we were trying to do defensively in terms of taking the ball out of Ant's hands, but we didn't get we have a rotating group out there, but we didn't rotate well. So, we have to play better, within the lineup we have out there. Yeah, part of the struggles offensively is we didn't finish well around the basket, and not just Rudy attacks, but just makeable shots.
Knowing that this team took their game to the next level, it seems like in the playoffs, how confident are you that your team will be able to bounce back and try to even this thing up a one game at least?
Yeah, it's our first go at it together. So I believe in the guys and the experience level of the guys that we have in our group, and what we've done collectively, not collectively, individually, in our playoff experiences. But we've got to go through it together. You know what I mean? It's not always going to be smooth, but adversity is good for us.
So just looking at the turnovers, obviously only had 15. That's pretty around the average, but the 23 points off of it, is this just a matter of not getting back, or was it a matter of Minnesota just capitalizing once they got those?
Yeah, them capitalizing. We got to recover some of those. Some of them are unrecoverable if they're live ball turnovers for fast breaks. But we talk all the time about if we turn it over, what's our reaction going to be, and how can we get those plays back?
For the team overall, how would you assess the looks you guys got?
Yeah, they were solid looks. Shots you got to live with. We got missed a few lays, a few wide open threes. Got to live with those shots. They took 13 more shots than us and was more efficient than us. That's the game.
When you look at just, as far as that third quarter when Anthony got it going, when he's hitting that three, it becomes even more challenging to guard. Maybe what you feel like led to him ultimately finding that rhythm to be able to take those.
Yeah, I just think they put the ball in his hands and let him dribble up the court. A lot of time, Mike Conley is handling the ball. So you let him dribble the ball up the court. He got his rhythm. He was able to hit a few. You've seen a couple tough ones go in. Now he got confidence. He always had confidence as a player. But when you see a few tough ones go in, I think he hit that fade over me. He was then falling away. And then he hit 2 more threes over a contest. So it was a make or miss league. You got to knock down shots if you want to win.
The other thing that I had was obviously he got to chatting a little bit after one of those threes with you. You've been in that before, where back and forth. How much of that is just playoff basketball?
Yeah, it's just basketball. Not even play. It's just hoop. You get hot, you make shots, make tough shots. You're gonna feel excited about yourself. So it's on me to keep coming back and showing them a tough look, or whoever's defending these guys, to show them a tough look. If they make shots over us, we move back to the next play. And we move on to the next play. So he got it going. He made some tough ones. You just gotta live with it and be better next game.
Everyone knows Minnesota's a physical team. It felt like you guys matched that intensity early on. Do you agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, I do. And I think sometimes we might have fouled too much there at bad times, trying to be physical. But we'll figure it out. The rest are letting us play, and it's the type of game we want.
What's the tough part of finding the balance between the mismatches that you guys want to attack, but at the same time keeping a rhythm offensively and keeping the ball moving?
I think that is our rhythm, is when we find mismatches, is we break down the defense and try to create for others, break our man down one-on-one and make the extra pass. That's when we get our blender going, where everybody's touching the ball. So we got to mix it up, obviously, and play different styles. But for the most part, we like breaking our man down and trying to create something for ourselves or our teammates.
When you look at Book, obviously he's been a great playoff performer, had a rough night tonight. What did you see as far as what the Timberwolves were doing to try to take him out of it?
Well, I just think he missed some tough ones, some easy ones that he normally makes. And, I think he can be more aggressive to shoot more shots in the first half. But for the most part, he's trying to play the right way, trying to play hard. And he got us going there in the third by making a couple shots, So I'm not worried about Book. I think he'll come out here and have a great game too.
To your point about missing shots, it felt like you guys missed some close ones around the basket as well, just a similar thing as far as what you always talk about with make or miss.
Yeah, we just got to be more focused and finish those plays, and I think we will.
Kevin, Frank Vogel just said, too, he feels that this is a good chance to go through adversity, and really this is your first time going through this together as a team. What did you learn about yourselves tonight in Game 1?
I think we've been finding out lessons about ourselves throughout the whole season. I know it's playoffs time and it's high-pressure moments, but we've been together for 5-6 months now, so we understand who we are as individuals. We've been in tight games before. We came back from being down big and been up big before. We've been in every situation thus far, and I know it's the playoffs, and I know it's a new season, but we've been around each other all season, so it's not like anything's new when we step on the floor. We just got to revert back to the stuff that we did throughout the whole season that helped us be successful and move on.
Kevin, the rebounds 52 to 28, only 3 offensive boards. Just what do you attribute that to?
They're a big team. We play small a lot. I think we emphasize trying to get back on defense a little bit more, so we can get no offensive rebounds. And how many offense? They had 13. It's just they're bigger than us, to be honest. So we got to box even harder, and sometimes we might have to crash a little bit more offense to get more possessions too.
Kevin Bradley Beal said this game one was more like a feel-out game, just to get a feel for the opponent going both ways. What do you make of that statement, and how far away do you think this team is from closing the gap and trying to even the series up a one game apiece?
Yeah, I mean, still, you never know what type of adjustments they're gonna make after we just played them at the last game of the season and 2 times in the last 2 weeks of the season. So you want to see how they approach the game, but at the same time, you don't want to ease into anything and use this as a feel-out game. I think we try to go out there and win, all of us. You know what I'm saying? But I think both teams got a feel for their opponent, and we'll see who makes the most adjustments and who just plays better next game. Sometimes it's just playing harder and making shots, and that'll be your adjustment, you know. So, yeah, you can say it's a fill-out game, but we still try to go out there and win. That don't mean we came out there and laid down.
Kevin, when you look at just the 2 days in between, some series they try to, it's like only 1 day in between games. How big will that extra day be in terms of getting ready for game 2?
It'll be cool. I mean, I'm sure the guys want to get out there as quickly as possible, but we understand the TV scheduling and all that stuff that goes into the playoffs. So we try to stay ready and stay engaged regardless. And the NBA throws everything at us, man. So we just got to adjust, you know. So we'll be ready game 2.
Obviously, game 1 is always about the filling out, but what do you feel like you guys, did well in that first quarter, and then what do you feel like happened after that?
First, give my praises to God. I think in the beginning we did a good job of just sustaining their punch. You know, they came out aggressive. We knew that. And I think the biggest thing is that we knew they didn't play their best game. I think I've said that over the last few days. Like, this is probably their best game that we've seen them, you know, so respectfully so. It's one game, but, you know, they came out the aggressors, and they came out like they wanted it a little bit more than we did. And they executed their game plan well. They made some adjustments from the first couple times we played them. Came out with some different junk in the game tonight. And like you said, it's a fill-out game, you know, so we kind of know what to expect. We're sure they'll make their adjustments, but we'll for sure make ours.
One of them was obviously put, I think Jaden on you right out the box, and then had Anthony guarding you as well. You've played against taller guys, so what do you feel like, next game you got to do maybe differently or within the offense?
I think I've played efficiently. I think obviously maybe be a little bit more aggressive. Okay. But I think we were more or less matchup hunting tonight and just trying to take advantage of them hiding guys. And I think they actually went bigger and put Cat and Nas on KD, and Ant was guarding me to start the game, and it wasn't Conley. So they were trying to avoid, the small mismatches with Conley as much as possible and just keep size on size or just bigger defenders on us three, and they did a good job of doing that. But we have to be a lot better. I think in the first half we were really, first quarter anyway, we were really good at moving bodies and moving the ball. And even I think in the beginning of the third, like just getting stops, getting out in transition, really got us back in the game.
The only other thing I had on that, just to follow that up, you look at just because you three all can get a bucket, then sometimes, okay, let's give them the ball and go do that, but then the ball stops or pauses up. What's the balance in that of finding the movement, but yet allowing you three to each get those opportunities?
We'll have to find it, and I think it's not a bad thing because everybody is trying to contribute. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's trying to make a play, and so you don't look at it in a negative lens, but it's like you said, it's kind of like, okay, what's the balance? We have to be better at just understanding their matchups. They did a really good job of switching between zone and going to man, and we were kind of confused at times. So we have to be better, just making sure we're more locked in. We have our quick hitters and our plays that we need to get to, and I think our adjustments will be made there. But for the most part, I think they were just the aggressors. That was probably the biggest difference in the game. Their physicality, their aggressiveness on the defensive end, and then even offensively, just attacking the basket, offensive rebounds. And then obviously they shot the ball well too, everybody.
Brad, with the fouling specifically in the second quarter, Frank mentioned that, just like slowing the pace down. That's what prevents you guys from running, right, and playing off misses.
That's what kind of dug our hole. We kept fouling, putting them on the free throw line, which slows the game down, and then allows their bigs to get set. Allows Rudy to sit up, camp up in the paint, or allows Cat to get set, and all these guys. Instead of us getting in transition, limiting them to one shot and making them run. So that's something we'll be more cognizant of, and something I'm sure we'll push the narrative on and push the envelope on over these next 48 hours.
You guys did really well matching their physicality early, but you've played in these types of physical battles before. What's the balance between figuring out the fouling and what physicality you can get through?
I mean, I'm always on the spectrum of being overly aggressive. You know, force the referees to kind of dictate how the game will be called, and how much physicality they'll allow. I think they'll obviously allow us to be physical. They'll allow some things to go, but I think it's just being smart with, especially understanding foul situations, fouling bonus situations, and things like that, and who we're fouling. But I'm always on the side of being overly aggressive, always.
Brad, you came up wincing on that one play in the second quarter. Everything good with you?
Yeah, I'm good. I hope Kyle's good. I think I need him in the hip or something like that. It was nasty. I can only imagine what that felt like, but no, I'm all good.
When you look at Ant, you guys have done a pretty good job against him in the first regular season games. You knew that wasn't going to hold up for a whole series, but what do you feel like you guys could have been a little sharper in your coverages of him?
I think it was in the third, honestly. I think that's really when he got going. I think we did a really good job of just containing him and just making him take tough shots early on, and then I think he was just way too comfortable in the third. He just got a lot of open looks, was able to get to the basket, and they just kind of opened up Pandora's box from there. You can't let a superstar get going off 2 shots, and it's over with from there. You're trying to stop a hot man at that point. We have to be better collectively accepting that challenge because he attacked everybody, so we all have to be ready for that challenge and making sure that we're in the stands ready to go and force him to make a lot of tough shots. He's going to make some, but you got to tire him out, make him work for him.
Brad, I know you said this is kind of a feel-out game, but what is the message with this team as you look to respond heading into Game 2?
It's crazy. You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low. Obviously we're pissed off about the loss, but we motivate ourselves and know we can play better. I think that's probably the most frustrating thing. We know we can play better. We know we can be better. But we play again soon. It's the first of 4. We're excited about our opportunity. It doesn't, we'll obviously feel it tonight. Won't be happy about it, but we wake up tomorrow. It's a new day. You work on your adjustments and hone in on those and get better and be ready for Tuesday. But I mean, it's gonna be a good series. It's gonna be a good bump. We couldn't, we expected them to come out and compete, and that's what they're doing. Now we got to respond.
With Grayson's ankle sprain, just how important has it been? How important has it been you guys?
Grayson's huge, man. He's a beyond important piece to our team. Obviously a piece to our future as well. But what he does on the floor is kind of irreplaceable in some ways. So we definitely wish he's healthy and he's back for Game 2. But if not, it's always next man up, and we have plenty of depth to make it work.